Hi folks, Nick here. Just wanted to give you a quick video kind of recapping everything that happened in 2017. 2017 was an incredibly important year for GoodlyLabs. We mostly flew under the radar, but that's because we were building up the technology that's really going to allow us to grow and take off and pursue our mission in the years to come. So as some of you know, the mission of GoodlyLabs is to build a whole human community, thousands, maybe at some point millions of people, and walk them through a process where we develop the capacity to really understand ourselves and understand how we're creating society as we go. And then in the years to come, we'll be able to take action together to actually change our society and make our world better. But 2017 was a year where we made all of that possible. So we created the technology and the processes that are going to make it easy for us in 2018 to, like I said, take a look at ourselves as a society and really understand what we humans are doing on this planet. To get a little specific about that, there are two main projects that we wrapped in 2017 that are going to make this possible. The first, the Capital Query Project, was looking at how we can take records of the congressional hearings, the US congressional hearings, and those are spread around the internet, how we can bring them all together and put them into a database that members of the public can actually query, and so they can do research to understand how representatives from different parties or different places talk about things differently in hearings and what our congressional representatives are actually doing supposedly on our behalf. We did that for the congressional hearings, but we also wrote up a bunch of tutorials about the process so that we can do this for any set of documents on the internet. So there's all kinds of public domain information that's so scattered about that you really can't look into it except by reading it one page at a time. And now we're going to be able to have those in databases where anyone, even a total amateur citizen scientist researcher, can start to ask and answer really important, interesting questions from those documents. So that was the first big step we took, is we're going to have all this capacity now in 2018 to open up all of these documents that are describing, what humans are doing. And now we can put those in a place where it's easier to look through them. Kind of hard to overstate the importance of that, even though it sounds kind of nerdy in the weeds. The second really huge thing we did, and this actually is a culmination of 2 or 3 years of effort, was we finished up with our text thresher software. Now, what this software does is it allows us, hundreds or thousands of us, on the internet, to read through some set of documents. It could be 1 million documents, but it allows all of us as a team to read through those documents and to analyze them, to apply very specific labels and highlights that basically find everything interesting in those documents so that we can do more kinds of social science analysis on it. So whether you're looking at documents, newspaper documents about a particular set of events, or whether you're looking at like old historical literature to see how people kind of make up different notions of what it means to be a man or a woman or a particular ethnicity. That text thresher software is going to allow us in 2018 to really start to look at ourselves, to understand how are we constructing our society? How do we construct what it means to be a particular type of person? Or if we're looking through news data, how do different sets of events unfold? So we already have 2 projects that are starting to use the text thresher software. One of them is the Deciding Force project, and that has hundreds of people out on the internet looking through news articles about the Occupy movement and seeing how police and protesters interacted. So we can start to see, what are the sequences of interaction that lead to violence or lead to peace. And that's going to allow us in the future to make better decisions so that as a civil society, we're not out in the street fighting our city governments over things that maybe are national policy problems. And it's going to set up a situation where the police and protesters can actually work together so that voices are heard, but nobody gets hurt. The other big project that we're launching, and you'll be able to volunteer for both of these projects in 2018, the other one we're launching is called the Public Editor Project. So there are a lot of people who are really concerned about misinformation in the media, about fake news. And what we've done is we've set up a system where all of you, thousands of you out on the internet, when you read the news, when you see something that's fishy, instead of just throwing up your hands, you can highlight particularly why it's fishy. Is there an argumentative fallacy? Is there some psychological bias? Has someone just done poor journalism? There's about 100 different ways that someone can make some mistake that's going to mess up our understanding collectively of what our reality is. But we can actually, together, we can get a handle on all of that and basically put labels on these newspaper articles so that anyone who's reading the article is kind of clued in about the sort of mistake that's happening in the article. So I'll cut another video about everything that comes up in 2018, but 2017, even though we were under the radar, was really kind of a banner year for GoodlyLabs because we set up all this infrastructure and all this technology that's going to allow us to really carry forward that mission of understanding ourselves so that we can change and make the world better. So I just want to give a big thanks to all the teams working on Text Thresher and Capital Query, Deciding Force and Public Editor. Everyone was working as volunteers this year, putting in nights and weekends, and some people putting in almost 40 hours a week to make all of this possible. So a big thanks to all those folks, and it's totally going to be worth it because the best is yet to come. Thanks a lot, folks. I'll see you in 2018.